Friday night. We snuck our folks to the shore and dragged the bottom.
Welcome to the 2025 Big Ten Championship game, sponsored by Discover from the house that Peyton built, Lucas Oil Stadium here in downtown Indianapolis. We have the biggest game of the college football season. Undefeated Indiana, undefeated Ohio State, ready to play for all the marbles in the Big Ten Championship. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson, along with my quarterback, Joel Klatt, and welcome to Indiana. Wow. What are these teams playing for? Not only are they playing for a Big Ten championship, not only are they playing for the top seed in the college football playoffs coming up, but these two teams are also playing, two young men are playing for the Heisman Trophy. I mean, what did we do right? We did something right.
We did something
man,
right.
oh man, it's Shevitz.
How lucky are we, right?
Oh, we are so lucky.
How lucky are we? We get to enjoy this tonight here. These two great quarterbacks putting themselves right in the heart of this Heisman Trophy race. Let's start with the Ohio State quarterback, Julian Sayin. In his first year starting for the Buckeyes, all that pressure. He's come in, all he's done is lead the country in completion percentage. And I tell you, it's his poise and his accuracy that just impressed me. And he's got great weapons on the outside. Doesn't have to do it himself. Probably the best weapon in all of college football. Jeremiah Smith to throw to on the outside. 26 touchdowns over the last 2 years. Nobody's better. And they're going to need to attack down the field against this very good Indiana defense.
As for Indiana, Curt Cignetti does it again.
Yep. He's great. I tell you, this guy, he knows how to coach football. This team is legit. These two teams are the best two teams in all of college football, and their quarterback has really led the way. Comes over from Cal in the transfer portal, and he's been outstanding. Right now, the favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. He's going to have to play great tonight against this really good Buckeyes defense. And on the outside, he's also got a great weapon. Number 13, Elijah Surratt, 11 touchdowns on the year. He's the one that they look to in one-on-one situations on the outside. He's going to have to be great tonight against this Buckeyes defense if Indiana wants to pull off the upset.
All right, time now to join the third and fourth members of our team. We'll start with the AAG, the All-American girl, Jenny Taft.
Coach Cignetti had a feeling at the beginning of the season, and he wrote it down on a small note card that sits in his office. He hasn't shown anyone this card, but he did give me a preview. He wrote down, I don't know how many rodeos this group has left these coaches, but I believe we can do something special. His players may call themselves misfits, a group of guys that didn't find the perfect home right away out of high school, but have found the perfect home at Indiana. And as for that word misfit, don't say that to Cignetti, because for him, his guys have been everything he's needed and more. Time now to check in with Tom Rinaldi.
Thanks a lot, Jenny. Proof that freshman quarterback Julian Sayin is ready for this stage. Ryan Day believes he found it a week ago at Michigan. His first start in the rivalry, his second pass of the game, an interception which led to a field goal. It wasn't about the play, Day said. It was about Sayin's response. No panic, no emotion. Looked at the picture, said, I know the mistake, it won't happen again, and it didn't. 230 passing yards, 3 touchdowns from that point on. It's that poise that Day expects to find in this game, and as the games grow bigger. And Gus, it feels pretty big right now.
All right, Tom, I bet you it does. Coming up after the break, a special performance of our national anthem by the marching bands from Ohio State and Indiana. Welcome back to the 2025 Big Ten Championship game. Right now, let's go to public address announcer Tim Sinclair.
Fans, if you are able, please stand as we honor America and our armed forces around the world with the playing of our national anthem. Tonight's colors are presented by the Indiana Air National Guard. The marching bands from Indiana and Ohio State proudly combine under the direction of Ohio State's Dr. Christopher Hoke as they lead 513 Big Ten musicians in the playing of our national anthem.
Coming up after the break, team introductions and the coin toss. Welcome back to the 2025 Big Ten Championship game. Time now to introduce the teams competing for today's Big Ten Championship. Entering tonight's game with a perfect 12-0 record and making their 7th championship game appearance, the #1 team in the country, the world-famous Ohio State Buckeyes.
Ohio State's incredible season has them in pursuit of another national championship.
Set the tone early.
Week after week, they've answered every challenge.
The reigning national champions remain undefeated. They exercise the demons.
3, 1, 2, 3.
The offense is dynamic, a well-balanced attack of power and precision, led by their Heisman candidate quarterback,
Julian Sayin.
Fires! Touchdown Buckeyes!
The defense is dominant, playing at a historic level, suffocating opponents and taking over games.
And here it comes. Under pressure, hit.
Combined, they have formed an undefeated juggernaut. A program built on toughness, discipline, and brotherhood. A team dreaming of being the first repeat national champion in school history. These are the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Please welcome the defending national champion, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Undefeated, unshaken, and for the first time in school history, playing in the Big Ten Championship, the #2 ranked team in America, the Indiana Hoosiers.
They've climbed from the shadows of doubt and emerged as one of the elites.
That team right there is capable of playing with anybody in the nation.
They're a force to be reckoned with.
The Hoosiers are undefeated, ranked #2 in the country, with an explosive offense on the ground and through the air.
It's on. Touchdown, Indiana. What a catch.
Led by Heisman Trophy candidate Fernando Mendoza.
Touchdown! Wow! Unbelievable! Give him the Heisman Trophy now!
A gritty defense that's relentless and suffocating.
They come at you in waves.
The time is now to level up, to make history, and bring a Big Ten crown to Bloomington.
Oh my goodness!
Wow! These are your Indiana Hoosiers.
Hoosier Nation, make some noise for your Indiana Hoosiers. Now let's go downstairs to Tom Rinaldi.
Gus, thanks a lot. Ryan, by any metric, this is the best quarterback you will have faced this season. What do you most need to do defensively to disrupt Mendoza?
Well, anytime you're looking to stop a quarterback, you got to do it by pass rush or disrupting the pass routes. So that'll be important, but we also, don't want them to have balance. So you got to stop the run. That's the first thing. Then you got to get pass rush and you get your hands on some balls.
Your sense of the emotional temperature of your group coming out?
Yeah, it's great. Now these guys are fired up. Got to throw the first punch, come in at halftime, figure out what's going on, and then go into the second half and win it there.
Appreciate it. Good luck, Ryan. Jenny?
Tom, thank you, Coach. What was your final message to your guys ahead of this championship game?
They're a special team, but we got to prove how special we are tonight.
How confident are you that you can win this game?
Well, I mean, you can't. Look, you got to go in with confidence, but you got to earn it. Everything in football is earned, one play at a time.
Thank you.
Now let's go downstairs for the coin toss.
Captains come in and greet each other. Indiana's been designated as the visitor on this game, so I'll have you call the toss. You repeat his call. This will be the coin tonight. Both helmets for Indiana and Ohio State is heads. The Big Ten logo is tails. What's your call? What did he call? He called tails. We're going to let it hit the ground. It's a head. Ohio State won the toss, deferred their choice to the second half. You'll want to receive. Indiana will receive. Put your backs to the goal.
Time for today's game countdown, sponsored by Progressive. We'll have the kickoff of the 2025 Big Ten Championship on the other side of the break.
Of the Big Ten Conference.
You can chart this moment on a map if you want. Draw a line from Columbus to Bloomington. Two programs that appear to be reflections of each other. Scarlet, Crimson, 1, 2, 12, and O. But that's too short a drive for too big a story. See, this is an American epic. Big versus small, champion versus challenger.
There's something to prove every time we step on the field. Pressure's a privilege.
Down one road, the center of the college football universe, a program carved in stone.
The standard is excellence here, winning championships.
Down the other,
we've risen to a level that no one thought IU football could reach.
A legacy built in a different church. That is, until he stepped on campus. Two roads meet tonight in Indianapolis. Not by fate, not by coincidence, by something harder, something earned. The Buckeyes, the Hoosiers, and the Big Ten Championship on Fox.
Welcome back to the 2025 Big Ten Championship game, sponsored by Discover. Ohio State, Indiana. Buckeyes won the toss, deferred. Indiana will receive. Sellout crowd in attendance. Buckeyes, Hoosiers, and here we go. And that will bring out Fernando Mendoza, the Cal transfer, having a spectacular season.
He is a great decision maker with the ball, on time and on target. The hard part against this Ohio State defense is recognition. What are they in? Where is Caleb Downs, number 2? The X factor for Mendoza tonight, Gus, his legs. In every one of their tough matchups this year, he has created huge conversions, moving the sticks with his legs, and I think he's going to need to do so tonight.
Mendoza's thrown 32 touchdown passes this year to only 5 interceptions. First down and 10 of the 25. Hemby in the backfield. Mendoza throwing on first down underneath, and it's caught for gain of 9. Elijah Surratt. Offensively for the Hoosiers.
Well, offensively, they've got their quarterback laying on the field. He got hit. I couldn't tell who hit him. Maybe it was Caden Curry, the defensive end. He got popped right when he let go of this ball. Here's 92 Curry. Yeah, he hits him right when he lets go, right in that right shoulder, and he was in pain immediately. That is a legal hit. It was on time. It was low under the head. Curry.
His backup is his brother, Alberto Mendoza.
And Alberto has played in several games because of all the leads that Indiana has been able to have this season long, but certainly no time on the field in a situation like this one in a Big Ten championship game. Here he comes outside of the pocket. Watch Curry right here. Totally legal hit. Hits him under the strike zone. and right in that right shoulder. Man, he just drilled him. This Ohio State defense is so physical. They played physical last week. And good thing for IU, Mendoza up and jogging off the field. I tell you what, every single Indiana fan in this building and around the country, heart in their throat right now with the Heisman Trophy candidate laying on the ground, and now his brother jogs on the field. Alberto, what does this do to your play calling? You expect a run here if you're Ohio State.
Makes it 2nd down and 1. Alberto Mendoza in for his big brother. He'll hand it off, and this is Hemby leaning forward looking for that 1st down.
And I think he did get that ball to the 35-yard line, and here we go, 15 back on the field. Listen to this crowd.
The one thing they'll tell you about Fernando Mendoza, he's taken some shots this year, and he is as tough as they come.
Yeah, he's got courage in the pocket. He is courageous in there, and he's made some huge throws, taking contact right to the chest. Big throws against Oregon, Iowa, Penn State down the stretch, and here he is, loosening up that right arm that he just got hit.
1st down and 10 at the 35. And they'll run it straight ahead with Hemby. That's a gain of 3. Let's take a look now at the Indiana offense.
Drew Evans, their left guard, back in the lineup. He's missed several games, so he's back in there. That's good for Indiana. Pat Coogan's got a huge matchup against Caden McDonald in the interior. On the outside, it's about Elijah Surratt and Omar Cooper. These two guys are elite, but make no mistake about it, Indiana wants to run the football and establish that run. Roman Hemby in the backfield.
They'll give it to Hemby again, running right this time with the lane as he crosses the line of scrimmage and is gobbled up by Sonny Styles defensively for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
This is simply the best unit in all of college football. They're going to have 4 first-round draft picks right down the middle of this defense. Caden McDonald up front, the nose tackle. He's excellent. Arvell Reese, number 8. He might be the top player in the NFL draft next spring. And there's Caleb Downs, the brains of this operation, maybe the smartest player on the field at any time. Number 2 plays all over the place, and he is as disruptive as any safety in America.
3rd down and 4 at the 41. Mendoza to throw it with time. Bounces out. Mendoza wants to run it. Dumps it down. Nice play. Improvisation. Charlie Becker with the catch. His 21st of the season. A gain of 10 yards.
Mendoza is sneaky athletic, and here he gets himself out of the pocket going to the left. And Arvell Reese is trying to track him down, and there's Lorenzo Styles, number 3, who has to come up and defend the quarterback run. And Mendoza, very alert, just dumps it right over the top for Charlie B. And Becker, how about the big catches he's made down the stretch of this season?
Charlie B. from Nashville, Tennessee. 1st and 10 at the 49. Mendoza with time, goes deep, has a man, and incomplete. Intended for Omar Cooper. Defensively, Lorenzo Styles Jr. in coverage.
And Lorenzo Styles was in man-to-man. Cooper likes to line up in the slot. Here's the coverage down the field, and he has a chance at this ball, just a hair underthrown. You see Styles just getting right in between his arms, and Cooper can't come up with it. Tell you, these defensive backs for Ohio State, they have been terrific defending those deep passes all year long.
2nd and 10 at the 49. Ground attack, this time Black. And the big question, can Indiana run the ball on this Ohio State defense?
This offense is predicated on establishing the run game early. And everything comes off of that because they're so good in the RPO, the run-pass option. Mendoza makes great decisions, but they've got to establish the run. And here in a long 3rd down, Gus, probably not the spot for a run unless they feel like they're in 4-down territory across the 50.
3rd down and 7 at the 46. Opening series for Indiana. Mendoza to let it fly. Steps up in the pocket and trouble and goes down. Guess who? Caden Curry again. his 10th sack of the season to lead the Buckeyes. And he's from, guess where? Greenwood, Indiana.
I tell you what, a start for Caden Curry in this game. He's just going to beat the right tackle right around the edge. That's Zin Maholski, the Ohio State transfer, didn't want to hold. Curry is so explosive here in his first year as a starter, and he has been so productive for Ohio State. Like you said, now 10 sacks on the year.
Mitch McCarthy to punt it away. Brandon Innes is the deep man for the Buckeyes. And he's got it at the 11-yard line. And that will bring out a young phenom, Julian Sayin, from Carlsbad, California, will come onto the field after this. Some hard hitting going on early. Buckeyes with the football for the first time in a moment. The Big Ten Championship on Fox is sponsored by Discover. It pays to discover. Welcome back, folks. Ohio State on offense for the first time. That brings on Julian Sayin.
He is the most efficient quarterback in the country, and Tom touched on that poise after throwing that interception. His second passing attempt of the game last week at Michigan on the road, snow flying. He came out. He was 19 for his next 24 to finish that game. Ryan Day knows that he has a great game manager, but it's more than that. Quick release, hyper accurate. I tell you, Indiana has their hands full against this passing game here tonight.
Leads the nation in completion percentage at 79%. Buckeyes start from their own 12-yard line. Sayin out of the gun. He'll fire. Jeremiah Smith with the catch on first down, and he'll pick up a first down as he gains 13. Offensively for Ohio State.
You know, when I look at this offense, they just have answers everywhere. They've been able to run the football here in the back half of the year. They've been very good at that with Bo Jackson emerging 3 straight 100-yard games. This offensive line protects extremely well, and then they've got the 2 stars on the outside. You have to ask yourself as a defense, who do I take away? You can stop the run, fine. Tate and Smith are on the outside. Again, answers everywhere for the Buckeyes.
First down to the 25. Here's Sayin to throw it again. Skips around, looks backside, and just fires this one out of play. Defensively for Indiana.
Yeah, this is really the lost unit in this game. You know, no one talks about Indiana defensively, but this is one of the best defenses in America. They've given up just under 11 points per game. That's second in the country to Ohio State. They've got first-team all-conference players at each level. Tyreek Tucker up front, Aiden Fisher, the brain of the operation at middle linebacker. D'Angelo Pons, number 5, one of the great corners in college football and in the Big Ten. And he's going to have a heck of a matchup against his former high school teammate, Jeremiah Smith.
On second down, they give it to Bo Jackson. And the freshman sensation will pick up positive yardage. Lewis Moore and D'Angelo Pons combining on the 4-yard gain.
When you get to third down, Ohio State will know that you've got to beat zone defense. Indiana runs more zone coverage than anybody in America. And they are technicians. Carnell Tate, number 17, as good as anybody against zone. And in particular, when they get in a bunch set like this up at the top, watch for them to clear out, get number 17 right at the sticks to hook up for a first down. That's what they love to run.
Third down and 6 at the 29. C.J. Donaldson in the backfield at running back. Here's Sayin over the middle and intercepted. Lewis Moore. Indiana has a football. Reminiscent of last week for Ohio State.
Well, I think he's fooled here. He thinks that this is a half safety over Smith, but Lewis Moore actually goes to his left, and then he's able to drop down on this right. Brandon Innes trying to get that first down, and Lewis Moore now his 6th interception on the year. He has been outstanding. His eyes were in the backfield the whole time. Gets a little bit of a tip as he defends the ball, and it bounces right to him. And now Indiana, great field position inside the 25-yard line.
First down and 10 for Indiana. At the Ohio State 23. Black runs into a pile led by Sonny Styles. They give him 1.
Well, they're trying to establish this run game, but it is very difficult against this stout defensive front. And that run defense is led by Caden McDonald, number 98. They've got those fast linebackers behind them, Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese. But big 98, he is 326 pounds. And the key, the anchor to the run defense, he lines up generally right over the center. Pat Coogan transferred in from Notre Dame. He's got his hands full.
2nd down and 9 at the 22. Mendoza sideline throw on the money to Surratt. Elijah Surratt came into this game with 48 catches for 650 yards. He's missed games because of a hamstring this year. Gain of 11 on this play.
He is an elite wide receiver out on the outside, and what they do better than anybody else in the country is throw those underneath routes. An out route, a back shoulder fade, and when you get down here between the 20 and 10-yard line, you always got to be aware of these slot fades. Watch out for Elijah Surratt here trying to get himself to the corner.
1st down and 10 at the 11. Here's Mendoza rolling out of the pocket, and he'll throw it away.
Look who's chasing him down. How about Curry is just playing his absolute
lights out.
I tell you, this is a guy that is just energy on the field, getting pressure. Like you said, Gus, playing just about 20 minutes away from where he grew up. A little homecoming for Curry, and he's making his name known here in Indianapolis.
Indiana offered him a scholarship. He chose to head to Columbus. 2nd and 10 at the 11. Here's the running game with Hemby and Ohio State ready for it. No gain on the play. And these running backs are mirror images of each other. Hemby and Black, about the same size, same running style. It's going to be rough for him, though, today. And Kurt Cignetti knows it.
Yeah, it will. And this red zone defense is such a key for both of these teams, but certainly Ohio State. After the interception last week against Michigan, they held Michigan to a field goal, trying to get off the field here on 3rd down and force a field goal opportunity for Indiana.
3rd down and 10 at the 11. Mendoza looking underneath, deflected, incomplete. Ohio State bringing pressure.
And it's Curry again. He spins. He doesn't get the pressure all the way to the quarterback, but watch as he's able to spin around and get his hands in the air, and he bats that ball down, and it fell to the feet of the intended target, and they'll settle for a field goal.
This one from 29 yards away for Niko Radicic. Got it up and good. Indiana on the board first. The Hoosiers capitalize on the turnover. Lewis Moore picked it off. Radicic punches it through. 3-0 Hoosiers. Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win your share of 5,000 big ones in cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for details. 3-zip. Indiana strikes first after the interception. Settling for the field goal. Julian saying this is reminiscent of what happened last week.
Sure is. Now, he bounced back last week, but you know, I would venture to say this defense that he's facing today is a better defense.
And this one caught by Ennis. Let's check in with Tom.
Gus, you can call it deja vu. Last week it was the 2nd passing attempt at Michigan that got picked. This week the 3rd. We told you about how he responded without panic or emotion a week ago. Same exact scene played out on the bench. Picked up the tablet, reviewed the pictures, put on the headset, talked to the coaches upstairs, and then was the first player off the bench to congratulate the defense for getting the hold to keep them to a field goal. Didn't see any overt reaction from the freshman. We'll have to see if he responds the way he did a week ago in the snow and the cold. Guys?
All right, thank you very much, Tom. 1st and 10 of the 25 now for Sayin and the Buckeyes. Play fake. Sideline throw. Jeremiah Smith out of bounds. He'll pick up 6, maybe 7 yards on the play in front of his high school teammate, D'Angelo Pons. That's a great matchup to watch.
Yeah, it really is. And these two guys have been going at it for a long time. They were high school teammates for a year. The hard part for Pons, who's just an incredible player. He's only 5'9", 173 pounds, though. So he's given up 6 inches and 50 pounds to Jeremiah Smith, who's 6'3", 223.
2nd and 3. Sayin in trouble. Dances out of the pocket, throws on the move, and out of bounds. The catch is made by Carnell Tate, and it looks like he has the first down.
And one of the things this defensive front does such a good job of is create pressure, and they're very elusive, tough to block. And here's Shabola, the right guard, 77. He gets an inside move by Stephen Daly, and Daly was right in the face of Julian Sayin, who had to get out of the pocket and find his wide receiver, Tate, who catches it for a first down.
First down from the 37. Jackson, the single setback. Sayin steps into his throw over the middle, caught Jeremiah Smith. That's another first down. So the game plan looks pretty simple so far, Joel, for Ohio State. Keep Jeremiah's hands full.
Yeah, why not, right? Because number 4 is a great player. Watch, he slips. It's like he's on ice skates, and he's still able to find his feet and get back to the football. Sayin trusts him enough there. He gives him the ball, and it's another first down for Ohio State.
Smith came into this game with 72 catches for 942 yards and 11 touchdowns receiving. First down at midfield. Bo Jackson turns it up, finds a seam, and Lamar Jackson having an incredible season, gains 7. Let's check in with Jenny.
Well, we love the dynamic between D'Angelo Pons and Jeremiah Smith. I was with Pons earlier this week, and of course he talked to me about those high school days, and he said, yeah, I might be a bit smaller than Jeremiah, but I always knew I could compete because of what I did in high school. The two are close. They actually trained a little bit together this summer. I asked him if he'd reach out to Jeremiah this week. He said, absolutely not. We'll talk after this one.
Meanwhile, the Indiana defense comes up with a tackle for a loss of 2 yards. That'll make it 3rd down and 5 at the 46 for Ohio State. Big opportunity here for Indiana to get off the field. Donaldson replaces Jackson. Sayin to throw it. Sayin. No, and again! A slam in the backfield. Hardy with the sack. And Ohio State will have to punt it away. Elijah Hardy, the sophomore from Lakeland, Florida.
He had a wide open Brandon Ennis right down the middle of the field, but because he had to scoot up in the pocket, he took his eyes down, didn't get there, and then there's Elijah Hardy. And Hardy, 7 sacks coming into this game. That's his 8th on the year.
Joe McGuire punts it away from the 35. Jonathan Brady is a deep man, and he has it at the 10. 39-yard punt. This game for the Big Ten Championship and maybe the Heisman Trophy. Back after this. All right, the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway is coming up. Stay tuned to watch 2 deserving students compete for a life-changing grand prize of $100,000 in tuition from Dr. Pepper. 3-0, our score. 3:07 to play here in the first quarter. Indiana leading Ohio State. The Buckeyes, the reigning national champions. Curt Cignetti does it again. His team number 2, undefeated. Both heading back to the college football playoffs. But right now, a championship on the line. First down and 10 for Mendoza at the 11. Play fake, sideline, quick. Charlie Becker, incomplete. Igmignoson in coverage. Let's go downstairs and check in with Jenny.
Something I've been monitoring down here for Indiana. Omar Cooper Jr. currently questionable. A lower body injury, Gus. He's been limping in and out of the medical tent. They have been examining his right leg, his right side, his knee, his ankle. He just left for the locker room. I'll keep you posted with the latest.
And that could be a huge loss for the Hoosiers. He's been playing some lights-out football this year. Here's a handoff. Hemby, this time with room. Roman Hemby, the Maryland transfer. A gain of 8 as he just rockets through the hole.
Yeah, both of these backs, but in particular Roman Hemby, they run so hard. They don't waste movement. They get themselves right upfield, keep them on schedule for a 3rd and short like this.
3rd down and 2 at the 19. Mendoza, quarterback run, and he'll pick up the 1st down and more. And that's one of the aspects of Mendoza's game that makes him dangerous.
That really is, and what they need is you always have to have a good block from your running back. And watch Roman Hemby. He's going to come up and just get enough of Sonny Styles and allows Mendoza to get over to that left side and get the line to gain. But that's something that they have all year long. When they need one of those 3rd and shorts, it's a zone read or it's a quarterback draw. But Mendoza, he is sneaky athletic. And like I said at the beginning of the game, his legs were going to be a factor.
He's rushed for 243 yards this season and 6 rushing touchdowns. On 1st down, intercepted Igbenogson. Sonny Styles make that Lorenzo Styles blew up the play. And Igbenogson has his 2nd interception in 2 weeks.
Well, watch Lorenzo Styles, number 3. He reads it perfectly. He goes in there, he makes contact, and Igbenogson is there off of the tip. Both quarterbacks now throwing interceptions, providing short fields for their offense. Buckeyes on the field when we come back.
The Big Ten Championship on Fox is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years.
Welcome back to Indianapolis. Curt Cignetti wanted a defensive pass interference on that last play because Lorenzo Styles definitely contacted Surratt before the ball arrived. But here's the thing. When you're behind the line of scrimmage, it doesn't count. You can contact the intended receiver before the ball arrives. So heads up play from Lorenzo Styles. Knew he could do that. He contacts Surratt. Turnover, Ohio State.
Buckeyes now have the football at the Indiana 25. 1st down, and they hand it off to Bo Jackson. And Jackson tumbles forward, flags on the play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 97, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
That's Mario Landino, the sophomore from Pennsylvania.
Here's the ump cam. This is the official that actually threw the flag, and Landino is right in the middle of your screen, and you can see he reaches back with the right hand and just gets enough of Bo Jackson's face mask, and that's when the flag comes out. He was working against Will Kazmarek, the tight end number 89. Gus, watching the film last week of Ohio State's win over Michigan, Will Kazmarek, number 89, was a devastating blocker. Had one of the great games I've ever seen from a tight end blocking, and again right there with the block on Landino.
1st down and goal at the 8 for Ohio State. Out of the offset eye. Jackson. And Jackson is taken down. Jeff Utzinger lassos him, but there's another flag.
Offside. Defense number 8 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
There's Stephen Daly, the defensive end, closest to the official who calls that penalty, and just lined up clearly with his helmet over the ball in the neutral zone. There you see the flag come out as Ohio State is trying to establish this run game like they did a week ago.
So instead of the tackle for the loss, 1st down and goal at the 4. Sayin looking, throws it up high and out of bounds.
That's great coverage by Pons. That is great coverage. They're trying to get the one-on-one on the outside. There's not many corners in America that want that responsibility, but you know number 5 does. There's the man-to-man that we've got going out on the edge, and you can see Pons knows he wants to get to the corner and just doesn't allow it. When I talk with Brian Haynes, the defensive coordinator, he says D'Angelo Pons is one of the smartest players he's ever had, and he reads the split of the wide receiver, how wide they're split out there, and he understands the route that they want to run before they run it.
Second down and goal at the 4. Jackson remains in at running back.
False start. Offense number 25. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
You know, if you wanted to point to one weakness that this Ohio State team has, it's offensively the red zone. Trying to convert these possessions into touchdowns. They were turned away last year against Indiana in the red zone on a possession. They were turned away last week, had to settle for a field goal. They had 6 snaps inside of the 5-yard line on that possession against Michigan. And here backing up against the Hoosiers.
3 flags in the last 4 plays. Second down and goal now at the 9 for Ohio State. Sayin looking, Sayin in trouble, scrambles, throws, touchdown! Tater, home run hitter, Carnell Tate.
Well, it really starts with protection here with Julian Sayin. He gets all the time in the world, and you're going to see from the left side of your screen, Carnell Tate, inner right there. And as Sayin escapes the pocket, now Tate is wide open. And Sayin finds him for an easy touchdown, and Ohio State is able to convert the turnover into points.
Jaden Fielding in for the extra point. And it's good. 7-3. Buckeyes respond. Carnell Tate, just a spectacular player. His 9th receiving touchdown of the season.
They initially wanted to double team both Smith and Tate on that play. But because it was extended by Sayin, getting himself outside of the pocket, Tate was able to go all the way across the field. One of the things that I love watching tape on Carnell Tate is his awareness of space and situation. He thought he was open initially, but he knew as Sayin left the pocket, in particular to his right, to keep going. He got to the back of the end zone. It's a perfect scramble rule from the wide receiver, and he's wide open for the touchdown. What a sensational player Carnell Tate is.
Tate has missed time this season because of injury, undisclosed. Came back last week against Michigan. Had a big-time touchdown in that one. And right now he gives Ohio State the lead. And this one kicked out of the end zone. Tomorrow, Joe Burrow and the Bengals take on Josh Allen and the Bills, or other regional action. Then in America's Game of the Week, Caleb Williams leads the Bears in a pivotal NFC North showdown against Jordan Love and the Packers for Rams Cardinals. Check local listings for the games in your area only on FOX. So how do the Hoosiers respond? From the 25, first down. Mendoza with time. Mendoza winds up. Down the field, Becker, incomplete. And a flag. Lorenzo Styles in coverage.
Pass interference. Defense, number 3, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Charlie Becker is so dangerous down the field. He's 6'4", 209. And here Styles comes in. You can see that arm. And he's just getting too much contact not allowing Becker to go back up and receive that ball. There's the restriction right there. That was right in front of the far official, the one who threw the flag, and it's 15 free yards for Indiana.
So now first down at the 40 for the Hoosiers. Black turns it up. Nice cut. Black high stepping. Black out of bounds. Indiana toting the rock. Gain of 37.
This is exactly the way that Michigan attacked in the run game against Ohio State. Tight end into the short side of the field, pulling extra linemen over that direction. And Ohio State was hurt by a couple of long runs early in that game. Indiana gets right back to it. What they see on film, they're able to get Drew Evans with an excellent block in there, number 62.
Time winding down to the first quarter. And they get it off. Black again. And maybe a yard. Sonny Styles. But that takes us to the end of the first quarter, and what an interesting first quarter it was. 7-3 Buckeyes. Hoosiers with the ball, driving. Welcome back to the 2025 Big Ten Championship game, sponsored by Discover. Start of the second quarter. 7-3. Ohio State leads Indiana. Hoosiers, though, with the ball. Second down and 9 at the 22.
Well, they've been aggressive, haven't they? Taking shots down the field. Now they get this big run. And now set up here with the possession inside the 25.
Hemby in the backfield. They give it to him with a lane. And Hemby gains about 3 yards as he popped it through. Caden Curry, who's been all over the field here in the first quarter. Now the second quarter.
He has turned into just a sensational player. Remember, they lost all 4 of their defensive linemen from a year ago, lost their defensive coordinator. Matt Patricia comes in here as the play caller on defense, and all these new faces for the defensive line for Ohio State. They have been terrific all season long.
Third down and 6 at the 19. Surratt, he's the go-to guy on the back shoulder. Mendoza looks that way, in trouble, scrambling. Mendoza goes down behind the line of scrimmage. Kenyatta Jackson Jr., 6.5 sacks now on the season, a loss of 2.
That's just great coverage from Ohio State. And now twice Indiana has had the ball down inside the 25-yard line, and Ohio State has turned him away. He's got his eyes over to the left. Surratt can't come open. There's double coverage over on Charlie Becker. On the other side, look at the great coverage on this side. That's where he wanted to go first, Nowakowski. Surratt's getting locked up by Igbinosun, and they've got to settle for another field goal.
So Radicic, the kicker of the year in the Big Ten Conference, 14 of 14 on the season. He's been good from 29, this one from 40, and he missed it. First miss of the year. The score remains 7-3. Ohio State. Jackson getting to the quarterback. Ryan Day says, that's what I'm talking about.
Pacific Life Game Summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures. For nearly 160 years, both quarterbacks have thrown an interception here, but Ohio State is the offense that was able to capitalize. They put it in the end zone. Indiana had to settle for a field goal, and then Radicic, who was the Big Ten kicker of the year, just had an attempt that just missed to the left, and we have a 7-3 ball game here in Indianapolis.
First down to the 22 for Ohio State. Isaiah West checks in the game at running back. He'll go straight ahead. The freshman from Philadelphia, Hardy, stands him up after he gains 3.
Now, one of the things that Indiana loves to do, in particular on first down, is they give you this too high shell, but then they allow Pons to be single covered, and they move this direction. And it's that style of disguise that has given Julian Sayin a bit of trouble here tonight. They play heavy zone coverage, almost exclusively zone. And there's been several times where Sayin has held the football, not necessarily understanding where they're rolling to in coverage.
2nd and 6 at the 26. Sayin on the play fake. Sayin down the field. Smith! Jeremiah! At the 20. And chopped down Jeremiah Smith. 51 yards, but a flag.
And the flags are back in the backfield. The Ohio State offensive linemen staying back there. And now they're jogging down the field. This one might be Indiana.
Illegal helmet contact, hands to the face. Defense, number 6. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
That's Kamara.
Kamara, there's that hand way up in the face. That's a good call. Luke Montgomery, number 51. He puts his hands up. Here's the route. One-on-one, man. This is just tough. Look at the head of steam that Jeremiah Smith had. Again, he's got 50 pounds on Pons. He runs right through him. Sayin just a touch underthrown, but a big pass down the field to the best wide receiver in college football. Ryan Day loving it.
Smith already 4 catches for 84 yards. That one for 52. 1st and 10 at the 11. Jackson, the deep man in the I formation. They give it to him. And he'll lower his head. Stopped by Hardy. 2-yard pickup.
Yeah, these red zone possessions are so important. Ohio State capitalized the last time they were down here, and we've seen Indiana have a couple of possessions where they're in the scoring territory, have to settle for field goals here. You cannot settle for field goals. Kurt Cignetti knows that. Ryan Day knows that. This offense is going to have to find the matchup that is most advantageous for them. Right now, Smith, top of your screen, does not look like they have help over there for Jamari Sharp, the corner, number 22.
And Tate is at the bottom of your screen. 2nd and 8. The handoff to Jackson. And Jackson held up. Nicely done. As Farrell, the safety, comes up and brings him down.
Really nice play from Amari Farrell in there from his safety position. Came up, physical stop on Bo Jackson, and a huge 3rd down here for Indiana defensively.
3rd down and 7. From the 7. Max Clare, the tight end in the slot, near side. Sayin rolls out in that direction and is dragged out from behind by Isaiah Jones. A loss of 4.
He's going to get pressure over here from his left side, and the offensive line never slides far enough. So Sayin thinks he's protected. He leaks out to the right side, and Isaiah Jones in there, and that's his 6th sack of the year. Beautiful job dialing up the pressure from Brian Haynes, the defensive coordinator, and getting off the field. 4th down.
Jaden Fielding, who's had a great season, 15 of 17 on the year with a long of 49. This one from 30 yards away. And it's good. 10-3 Ohio State. 10:08 to play, 2nd quarter. Back to the Big Ten championship game right after this. It's a sea of orange thanks to custom wristbands for fans here at Lucas Oil. Sponsored by Discover, the official credit card of the Big Ten Conference. Ten to 3, Ohio State. 10:08 to play, 2nd quarter. Indiana will get an opportunity to respond. They hold the Buckeyes to a field goal.
That was a giant stop. You keep it to a 1-possession game. You gain some confidence defensively after the big play to Jeremiah Smith and give the ball back to that man, Fernando Mendoza, in this IU offense.
What's going through his mind right now, Joel?
Well, You know, I think the loss of Omar Cooper is really big deal for this Indiana team.
All right, let's go downstairs and check it with Tom.
Well, Gus, after Julian Sayin was flushed from the pocket on that third down, his shoe ejected and went about 10 yards farther than he did as he came out of bounds. You see it there as he gets the tackle to the boundary. You see how far the shoe flew.
Oh.
Then as he made his way back toward the bench, couldn't tell if it was a limp simply because he didn't have a shoe on. Now getting heavily taped along that foot. Struggle to get the shoe back on. Now with tape, just something to keep an eye on in terms of his mobility when he comes back.
Good point, Tom. Thank you very much, and we will keep an eye on it. 1st and 10 of the 25. Mendoza without one of his weapons. Near far side, caught out of bounds. Great catch this time, Jonathan Brady.
Yep. Jonathan Brady is a guy that's going to have to step up. Only 12 catches on the whole year. But here he's working in the slot. That's where Omar Cooper was primarily used, was in the slot. And so Brady, who transferred in from Cal with Fernando Mendoza, comes in here. They were teammates back in Berkeley, and now after only 12 catches on the season, he's going to be asked to play a big role in tonight's game.
1st down to 10 of the 39. Mendoza to throw it again. Rolls out of the pocket. Incomplete, but there is a flag.
Holding, offense, number 74, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Well, they call this one on Bray Lynch, the right guard. He was working on Caden McDonald, and McDonald had a free run here, and you just see that jersey just get tugged right there. I thought it was more of a slip from McDonald than an outward hold. The Indiana fans reacting here do not like the call. Right guard Bray Lynch, he's been rotating a little bit. Drew Evans comes back. Johnny, number 72, into the ball game.
1st down and 20. Mendoza, delayed handoff. Hemby. And Roman Hemby. They give him 7 yards on the play.
You know, without Omar Cooper, you know, Ohio State is going to be able to focus a lot of their pass defense on number 13, Elijah Surratt. You know, particularly when you get in these long yardage situations, we'll see how this defensive backfield wants to attack and cover number 13.
2nd down and 13. At the Indiana 36. Mendoza goes through his progressions, pops it out to Hemby, his running back. Hemby showing some very solid hands. Another 7-yard gain.
I'll tell you, those 2 snaps, they don't look like much, but after they were behind the chains severely because of that holding call, now a couple of small completions don't look like much, but what does it produce? A 3rd and manageable. Here and now 3rd and 6, Gus. You've got everything at your disposal, including, watch out for, as they spread you out, Fernando Mendoza and his legs.
3rd down, 6 at the 43. Mendoza sprints out, sets up, delivers, and caught on the sideline. That was a rocket gain of 11. Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah, this is a terrific route by Charlie Becker. He's working against Devin Sanchez, number 6, the true freshman. Look at him just gain some space right there. A little bit of a push off, but gains the space, and he's able to get that ball and then keep it away from the defender through contact, and a 1st down after the holding call. Really good execution from Mendoza in that passing game to come all the way back and create a 1st down.
1st down and 10 of the 47. Looks like the Hoosiers may have figured something out. Mendoza hands it off. Black cuts it up. Gain of 2.
Now, the difficult part about trying to establish the run against this Ohio State defensive line is they just do not give ground. It's so difficult to push them back, get the double teams up to the linebackers, mainly because of that guy, number 98. But it's what makes this run defense go. Caden Curry's great against the run. These guys, they just do not give ground.
2nd down and 8 at the 45. High snap, handle, far side throw, nicely done, Brady. Now remember, Omar Cooper's out. He's been a star for them. But Jonathan Brady, as you mentioned, he played with Mendoza at Cal. There's a familiarity.
And that was just a run-pass option right there. Good decision by Mendoza.
3rd and 2. Mendoza to throw it again. Scrambles. And incomplete. Out of bounds. Sonny Styles with pressure.
Yeah, I think this is 4-down territory here for Indiana. Got 3rd and short. Ohio State wanted a hold on that last play, did not get it as Kenyatta Jackson was in the backfield, but here we go. 4th down, Indiana staying on the field.
Indiana on the season, 7 for 15 on 4th down conversions. They need 2. Black in the backfield. And a timeout called by the Hoosiers. Tried to draw him offside. Almost worked, but didn't. And Jackie Robinson Award presented by Discover recognizes Big Ten student athletes with a positive impact in their chosen sport and their community. Accompanied by Jackie's granddaughter, Sonia. Congratulations to the 2025 winners, Nenea Estrella of the University of Iowa and Dylan Fontes of the University of Maryland. 4th down and 2 for IU at the 39. Mendoza pulls it out under pressure, gets it off and finds his tight end. Riley Nowakowski picks up the 1st down. A gain of 9 on 4th and 2.
This is a great little route. Watch Nowakowski's going to come from the left side of the offense and just slip right past the defensive end Curry. Arvell Reese, who's got to be in there for run defense, cannot catch up. Mendoza, while he's getting hit, delivers a dime, and Indiana moves the chains. Nice little sidearm action there from Mendoza.
1st down and 10 at the 30. Under 6 minutes to play in the 1st half. Black with a burst, and he just rockets through the hole and gets close to that 1st down marker. They give him 9.
This is the same formation that Michigan was using, tight end into the short side of the field, and it allows them to get those down blocks and get to the linebacker.
And they'll run it once again. Black breaking tackles. Prior to that run, 6 carries, 53 yards for Black, averaging close to 9 yards per carry. He just got 1. Styles takes him down.
But he moves the chains, and now another one of these red zone possessions. Indiana has had the ball 3 times down in this area. Gus, they've settled for 2 field goals, missed 1 of them. Gotta convert for touchdowns, and maybe you just think about taking a shot. Maybe you get one of these guys, Charlie Becker, Surratt. You've got Jonathan Brady. Get him on a corner.
1st down and 10 at the 20. Mendoza, quarterback run, bottled up and goes down. That's because Kenyatta Jackson got a piece. And that's his 2nd sack of the game. This man hasn't been talked about as much as the others, but he's having a terrific year.
Watch 97. He just goes inside, gets skinny, and then he gets that penetration all the way back into the backfield, and Mendoza just can't keep his feet. You know, Kenyatta doesn't even actually get a piece of Mendoza. It looks like he just trips over his own lineman there, but certainly disrupted by Big 97.
2nd down and 12 at the 22. Hemby in the game at running back now. Mendoza. And Mendoza goes down again. Curry with pressure.
Well, their normal right tackle, Khalil Benson, has been banged up over the last few weeks. So Zin Maholski, a backup, is out at right tackle, and Curry is getting after him. Maholski transferred to Indiana from Ohio State this last offseason. He started 1 game for the Buckeyes in his career there, and now Curry taking advantage of his former teammate.
3rd down and 15 at the 25. Mendoza underneath. Nowakowski trying to get outside, turns it up and out of bounds. They give him 10 on 3rd and 15. So a decision now for Curt Cignetti. 4th down.
I think they're going to run Radicic out here and attempt another field goal. This is a huge win again for Ohio State. Again, forcing field goals. This is a great red zone defense. Matt Patricia dialing up the schemes. Nice play there on 3rd to force this field goal opportunity.
Radicic, he's been good from 30. This one up and good. (10-6). This holiday season, Fox Sports and Purple Heart Homes are teaming up to provide housing solutions for our nation's aging and disabled veterans through the Hearts for the Holidays campaign. To learn how you can help heal hearts, one home at a time, scan the QR code or visit go.fox/purplehearthomes. What a game. 10-6. Big Ten championship. The #1 and #2 teams in the nation, both undefeated. Ohio State, the reigning national champions. This game is not only for the championship of the Big Ten Conference, but also for the top seed in the college football playoffs. And maybe the Heisman Trophy.
But how about these defenses? Oh my goodness. Both of these defenses have been outstanding so far tonight. Best 2 defenses in all of America.
Indiana goes on a 14-play, 61-yard drive, eating up 7 minutes and 21 seconds. Indiana and Ohio State have been wrecking balls this season, folks, bowling over their competition. They allow the fewest points per game of any team. They're both ranked in the top 3 of point differential, and they're the best in FBS on 3rd down conversion.
There was so much to love about this matchup coming in. Obviously, the quarterbacks trying to compete for the Heisman Trophy, but it's been these defenses that have been outstanding here so far through the first 2 quarters. But this is a big opportunity for Ohio State. They received the second half kick. After halftime, a chance to double up here if they can get a score.
First down from the 25, far side throw, nice catch. Carnell Tate. And Tatum with the first down. Gain of 11.
I just don't know how you defend these 2 wide receivers. I know Ohio State wants to run the football, as they should, establish the run. But with the accuracy of Sayin and the ability of number 17, Carnell Tate, number 4, Jeremiah Smith, boy, it's tempting, in particular in a scenario like this, winding down towards 2 minutes, to really let these guys eat on the outside.
First down at the 36. Indiana showing blitz. Now they back out of it. Sayin directing traffic. And that'll take us to the 2-minute timeout. 10-6 our score. Curt Cignetti, focused. Indiana, hopeful. Championship on Fox is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Home and auto coverage you can count on.
Left to return 15-7. It's 10-6 Buckeye. You coming up in the State Farm halftime. 17 try themselves into the playoff race. Texas Tech, they won their first ever. And Alabama's surprising loss really shakes up the playoff conversation. Hey, Gus, do you believe in karma? I do.
My name is Bennett, and I ain't in it. First and 10 at the 36 for the Buckeyes. Bo Jackson. And Bo Jackson hit hard. Elijah Hardy has been excellent. Gain of 4, though, for the freshman.
Well, they don't have to move too quickly, but they're taking a lot of time here. 3 timeouts left, chance to double up, get a score. They were able to score late in that game against Michigan in that second half. They'll receive the second half kick, like I said, so a big series here, but taking a lot of time now. 30 seconds just for that one first down play over the left side.
2nd down and 6 at the 40. Sayin, double clutch. Sayin is sacked. Isaiah Jones. A loss of 2.
I don't know why they're not taking a timeout right here. He's trying to throw a quick screen over the right side. And you can tell he just double clutches because the coverage rolled over in that direction. Now he takes a sack. Now we're inside of a minute. They've got all 3 timeouts in their pocket. Don't know why they didn't take one there. Obviously didn't want to leave too much time if they're unable to convert, if they're forced to punt this one away.
3rd down and 8 at the 38. 40 seconds to go. Sayin. Sideline. Incomplete. And with 32 seconds remaining in the first half, Ohio State will send it off.
Well, I don't know why Indiana didn't take a timeout there with all of that, but before the 3rd down play, you could tell that Ryan Day was just going to play conservatively there, drain the clock, try to not leave too much for Indiana. I thought Curt Cignetti with 2 in his pocket could have taken one. They could have gotten the ball back with about 55 seconds left.
McGuire from the 24. Brady, the deep man, at the 20.
Charge timeout, Ohio State, their first. It's a 30-second timeout.
So Ohio State calls timeout. Don't forget, folks, next Saturday, Fox Primetime Hoops returns with a bang. It's 3rd-ranked Michigan battles against Maryland in a Big Ten showdown next Saturday at 8 Eastern on Fox.
How about some of those big wins that Michigan basketball team had? My goodness.
Oh, my gosh. I saw a game. They had 74 points in the first half. Unbelievable.
That is
Dusty May.
Well, Indiana will have just under 30 seconds and a couple timeouts. They do not have their long-range kicker, Brendan Frankie. He's been injured. Niko Radicic, their kicker, his longest attempt, that was really from 46, so they're going to have to drive this ball away. He's under 32nd.
McGuire sends it away. Brady. And he has the fair catch inside the 15. 48-yard punt. Indiana, 2 timeouts left. 25 seconds to play in the first half.
Now, here's what they have been able to do, though, this year. If you go back to the Oregon game, they got the ball in a similar situation right before the half against the Ducks on the road, and they were able to drive down quickly and get a late field goal before the half. They also drove the length of the field against Penn State. What they like to do is run seam routes with their interior wide receivers right down the middle and then dropouts on the outside near the sideline.
And they'll hand it off. Hemby. And that should take us to the end of the first half. Your thoughts on what's transpired here, Joel?
Really conservative coaching here in the last 2 minutes. I was ready for some fireworks from both of these guys, but each of them trusting their defense. Their defenses have been outstanding. Ryan Day takes it into the locker room, and Fernando Mendoza and this IU offense is going to have to find a way to convert these red zone possessions into touchdowns.
Don't forget, after the break, join Rob Stone and the boys with the State Farm halftime show right here from Lucas Oil Stadium. Ohio State leading Indiana after the break.
I told you time and time again that we won't stop. Back and show by show, I'm trying to triple and double the pot. Look for at least 6 feet or so or more for him on now. Cooking up 25 rolls, all great interior whenever it's cloudy. Every day, but in my go from chasing health and wealth, not clout. Baddies under my belt, I cook like a chef from Mr. Chow.
Welcome back to the 2025 Big Ten Championship game, sponsored by Discover. And what a game we have going on so far as we prepare for the second half. 10-6, number 1 versus number 2. Gus Johnson along with my QB, Joel Klatt. Indiana averages 44 points a game, second in the nation. Ohio State averages 37 points a game, 13th in the nation. It's 10-6.
Yeah, that's right, because they're facing the 1 and 2 ranked defenses in the country. These defenses have been outstanding, haven't they? In particular, when their backs are against the wall in the red zone, that's really been the difference in the game so far. A couple of mistakes by the offenses. Lewis Moore, safety for Indiana, picks it off, but Ohio State held Indiana to a field goal. Then Fernando Mendoza returned the favor, a pick by Davison Igbinosun, but this time Ohio State was able to capitalize, put it in the end zone for that Carnell Tate touchdown. Kalon Black, beautiful run over the left side, set him up in scoring position, but a missed field goal for Indiana. And that's where we stand. You know, it was a big play down the field for Ohio State. Jeremiah Smith, 52 yards. Ohio State had to settle for a field goal. The defenses have been outstanding, and namely, and the guys touched on this at halftime, Indiana's defense on third down has been outstanding. They are 0-4, Ohio State, converting on third down, not one. And Julian Sayin is having some problems right now locating that defense. Now, Tom told us he was dealing with a little bit of a lower extremity. He's got that ankle taped up, but he has not been himself and not been in rhythm so far here tonight.
Lowest scoring half of the season for Indiana. Ennis is the deep man. Quinn Ward will send it away. And Ennis with a solid return. Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Well, Indiana was fired up coming back out here, Gus. I pulled Coach Signetti aside. I said, short and sweet, Coach, how do you score touchdowns in the second half? In typical Sig fashion, he said, well, we got to score and cross that goal line first. He then got serious. I asked him about Fernando Mendoza. He said he was unaffected by that early hit, but we do have to continue to protect our quarterback. As for Omar Cooper Jr.'s status, he said, I simply don't know. I like what our defense is doing, but we need a huge stop right here.
All right, Jenny, 1st and 10 of the 27 for the Buckeyes. Play fake. Sayin rolls out of the pocket. Dumps it down to his tight end. And this time, it's Kazmarek close to a first. Let's go downstairs to Tom.
We're talking to Ryan Day coming out. It's as if he heard Joel Klatt and stressed the importance of the performance in the red area, saying the defense doing well to limit their points, but when the Buckeyes get in that red zone, they need to score. As for the message to his team, he said, we're winning this game. We need to win the first 4 minutes of the second half. We're going to have the ball and go from there. As for Julian Sayin, he said the poise that he's shown hasn't surprised him, and he expects the same in this half.
All right, on 2nd and 1. First down. Jackson with a burst. Bo Jackson. On 2nd and 1, he gains 20. Jackson, 8 carries, 45 yards.
Watch, they're going to pull around, and this is supposed to go to the left side, but Jackson sees the hole over here to the right side, and he's able to just wiggle through and get up onto that second level. Good vision from the young back who's got 6 games of 100 yards. That's the most of any true freshman in the country. He has come on strong here in the back half of the season.
The state of Ohio's top-ranked running back in his class and 4th in the nation. 1st down and 10 at the 44. Sayin sprints out, sets up, looks out, and he get him again. Woo! Mario Landino shot out of a cannon. Loss of 6.
Well, you're going to get pressure over here from this side, and Sayin is trying to get Smith right down the middle of the field, but the coverage in the back end was outstanding. There's Landino. He gets away from Shabola, and he gets the sack, but he's trying to get Jeremiah Smith right down the middle of the field, and you can tell he wants to let it go, but they rolled coverage. It was a really great design by Bryant Haynes, the defensive coordinator. Those are those plays that Ohio State loves to run near the middle of the field. Take the shot down the field to Jeremiah Smith, but Indiana was ready.
4th sack of the game for the Hoosiers. 2nd down and 15. Sayin under pressure again. Whoa! He breaks away and somehow gets rid of it. Unbelievable pressure by Stephen Daly.
How did he get away from that? I have no idea how he got away from that. Now are they saying that he was in the grasp? No way. They're saying that they're going to say the forward progress was stopped? I mean, he's spinning around. How in the world do you call that progress?
So they give him the sack. Stephen Daly. That's a loss of 12 yards. Third down and forever. 27.
Boy, you might want to just hand this one off, try to throw a screen, something short. This defense is licking their chops. I don't think the first third down conversion is going to happen here.
Saying he does drop it off. Donaldson. And a timeout was called by the Hoosiers.
What? On 3rd and 27.
First timeout, Indiana, prior to the snap. Their first 30-second timeout.
Holy cow. Man, wild sequence here the last couple of plays. I want to go back to that forward progress call, though. Mike Pereira is with us, our rules analyst. Mike, ruling forward progress there as he's spinning around in the grass. What did you think about that call, making it this long third down?
Yeah, I think when you have two players involved in that, you had one player with the grasp and then another player, you look at that for a player safety thing. But when you watch it, you want to give these athletes time to break away. So, it's a judgment call that he has to make. I'm like you. I wish he wouldn't have shut it down.
I can tell you, it was not after the fact. You can see through the ump cam, our head referee, Ron Snodgrass, had his hand up. So he had that call immediately and stuck with it. Just surprised he blew it dead that quickly.
Third down and 27. Opening series for Ohio State here in the second half. Sayin under pressure again, underneath Smith. And they drop him. A yard. Hardy again. It looks like the Indiana defense found a wrinkle during their halftime.
Well, they've been doing this really all night, Gus, which is confusing Sayin. Yeah, he's not seeing the rotation of that zone defense in the back end. They're trying to get the shot to Smith. He's holding the ball in the pocket. Brian Haynes, the defensive coordinator for Indiana, has done a masterful job disguising coverages and making Julian Sayin hold the ball.
A beautiful punt by Joe McGuire. 51 yards coming up. Indiana on offense after this. Sight. 10-6. Now Indiana's turn.
You look at Fernando Mendoza. He's been beat up. Remember, Gus, how this started? Remember the first snap? Mendoza just got drilled by Curry. He was down on the turf. They've lost Omar Cooper in this game.
First down and 10 at the 12. Hemby. They'll push the pile forward. And a 5-yard gain.
Well, this is what I was talking about. First snap of the game. Bam! Caden Curry drills Fernando Mendoza. He laid down on the field, had to stop the game. 3 plays later, Omar Cooper. He tried a deep shot. He comes down a little gimpy. He limped off the field, has not returned. So a couple of their stars. There's Cooper on the sideline that they don't have. And obviously Mendoza battling through. You see those scars on his elbows. He has been courageous all season long, and he'll have to be so again here tonight.
Second down and 5 at the 17. Hemby again. It'll get close to the 20.
Well, they've got to establish the run game. They just really didn't do that outside of a couple nice runs that they had into the short side of the field. They didn't have the consistent run game that we've come to know from Indiana this year. And when they can get that for Curt Cignetti, what they can get to is the run-pass option or the play-action pass, getting Mendoza outside of the pocket, away from that rush of Ohio State. Get him on the move. I think that's where he can be most dangerous here in the second half.
Third down and 2 at the 20-yard line. Remember, Mendoza's got great wheels. Mendoza steps up, down the field. Caught! Inside the 30. Charlie B. from Nashville, Tennessee.
What a route from Becker. Right past Lorenzo Styles. This guy is so good in the contested catch, 50-50 situation, and he fights through that right arm of Styles for a massive catch.
51 yards, first down at the 29. Hemby slashing, crashing, and smashing his way for a first down.
Well, you talk about momentum. You should feel the energy in this building from the IU faithful. Ohio State, #1 in the country, defending national champion, has not trailed in the second half all year. The entire country has been waiting to see this Buckeye team face adversity, get taken into deep water. Thus, we might be watching it right now.
First down and 10 at the 19. Mendoza hands it off. Black. And he's ridden down after he crosses the line of scrimmage. Sonny Styles. Remember, not only is this game for the Big Ten Championship, it's also for the #1 seed in the upcoming college football playoff. It's also for the Heisman Trophy. Fernando Mendoza. Julian Sayin. Mano a mano. Second down and 8. Mendoza play fake. Looks backside. Dances. Pulls it back. Rolls out and gets rid of it. Great coverage by the Ohio State secondary.
This is a broken record. This is the 4th trip inside of the red zone for Indiana, and what do we see? As Coach Meyer told us on the halftime, something nondescript on first down, little to no yards. Then on second down, great coverage. Mendoza has to escape, and now a long third down. You got to find the matchup. Where is Elijah Surratt? Can you get to him on a dropout, a slot fade, something in a one-on-one number 13?
Third down and 8 at the 17. Becker's been a go-to man as well. Mendoza, fade, Surratt, corner, touchdown, Indiana.
Well, here's Surratt, one-on-one with Jermaine Matthews, and he fights through the contact, and again, what do we see time and time again? It's the back shoulder, allowing Surratt to adjust back to that back shoulder. Nobody in America does it better than Indiana. Fernando Mendoza and Elijah Surratt for a touchdown.
Extra point, and it's good. 7 plays, covering 88 yards. Indiana scores in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Surratt, always open at Waffle House. The Big Ten Championship on Fox is sponsored by Wendy's new chicken tenders. This is the first Big Ten Championship game between the first and second ranked teams in the country. And the stakes couldn't be higher. The Hoosiers are looking for their first Big Ten title since 1967, their first outright title since 1945. The winner of this game will get honored by CFP royalty, and it looks like Fernando Mendoza and Julian Sayin could be jousting for the Heisman Trophy.
Well, I tell you what Mendoza does, and we've seen it all year long, as he comes up huge in the second half. And I know it's just the third quarter, but how about that drive? Deep down the field to Charlie Becker, a beautiful ball right down the middle of the field, and then just a terrific back shoulder fade route to Elijah Surratt for the touchdown.
And that brings back on Julian Sayin. He was sacked just 6 times on the season coming into tonight. IU has put him down 5 times in this game.
This is what Indiana does. You think about their big matchups. They faced, at the time, a top 10 team at home, Illinois. They sacked Luke Altmaier 7 times in that game in a rout. They went up to Oregon. Dante Moore has not been pressured all season long. 6 sacks on Dante Moore, and they're doing it again here tonight to Julian Sayin with those 5 sacks you mentioned.
This is the first time Ohio State has trailed in the second half all season. 1st and 10 to the 25. And they'll run it with Bo Jackson. And Jackson dives forward. They give him 7.
Ohio State has just had nothing going. 146 total yards of offense. They haven't been able to run the ball. Jackson's been okay, 9 for 52. But with those sacks, it goes all the way back to 27 yards. Ryan Day got to find something and calm his quarterback down. Julian Sayin not seeing this defense and the disguise of the safeties.
2nd and 3. Jackson trying to set up his blocks, but Indiana not fooled, and that's a loss of 1. Hardy again and again and again.
And again, a 3rd down, which we've seen time and time again this entire game. Indiana and their coordinator, Brian Haynes, the defensive coordinator, dialing up at the skies to confuse Julian Sayin, forcing him to hold the football and allow that rush, the elusive defensive line, to get pressure.
3rd down and 4 at the 31. Sayin. And caught for 1st down. That's Brandon Ennis. Got beyond the 1st down marker and picks it up.
Watch how fast these linebackers and the corner close, because Ennis is going to come up here and hook down, and if Sayin is not right on time, this is going to be an incompletion. And again, the timing of this game has been fast for Julian Sayin. Normally he's got time to throw, he can survey the field, but everything has been sped up. That was their first 3rd down conversion.
1st down at the 36 now. Sayin rolling out on the play fake, dumps it down to his tight end, Max Clare. And Clare with a good route. And a gain of 20 yards.
Hey, this was a really good play fake. Watch right here, you're going to fake this run here and watch him look back to the running back, and that gets the defense and specifically the linebackers to bite all the way to that direction. And as he gets outside of the pocket, Clare is wide open for an easy pitch and catch.
1st down from the 44 now. The handoff. West, nothing doing. Stood up by Tyreek Tucker.
You know, you might be wondering, like, what do they do up front to get all this pressure? Well, watch them twist in here, and it's just difficult, even against the rushing game, to try to stay on those blocks. They're slippery. When you talk with offensive coordinators around the league, they say, man, it's just tough to sustain your block against this Indiana defensive line because of how active they are with those twists and stunts.
2nd and 11. Sayin will throw it. Back shoulder. Jeremiah Smith. First down. Ohio State. Smith picks up 18.
Hey, Gus, if I say to you, like, hey, I'm a quarterback, I'm struggling with my rhythm a little bit, who should I throw to? How about Jeremiah Smith? Right? I mean, great coverage by Pons. It's a really good throw from Sayin. But Smith is just so physical that he goes back, catches that ball into that left shoulder, and is able to get the foot down. Good
Six catches, 103 yards for Jeremiah. From the 27, sideline, Clare, and he is dumped. Max Clare, the Purdue transfer, having a terrific season at Ohio State.
That's a nice job from Sayin to actually recognize that blitz. He saw the blitz from the short side of the field, and he immediately got the ball to Clare. So finally, Julian Sayin on this series, he's starting to see it a lot better and calm down in the pocket.
2nd and 2 at the 19. They hand it to Jackson. He almost squirts through, but does pick up a first down. A 5-yard run.
Let's go to the ump cam and watch how close this one was from breaking to the end zone. He's got the crease right here, and you can see Hardy just reaching back and just getting enough. Look at him, that right arm, and he just gets enough of the left leg to trip up the young Bo Jackson and force him to the turf.
Ohio State answering Indiana's touchdown. 1st and 10 now at the IU 14. Play fake, Sayin underneath, caught, and it's Kazmarek this time. So now he's using his tight ends. We saw Julian Sayin do this in the Rutgers game when Tate and Jeremiah Smith were out. He really went to his tight end game.
Well, and see what they've done. They've given up the 5 sacks. Their first series of the second half, Gus, it didn't go well. So what have they done on this series? They've got him on the move. It's called changing the launch point for the quarterback. They've got him on the move. He's starting to see it a little bit better. And when you're on the move outside of the pocket, those tight ends become great weapons.
He's 5 for 5 on this drive. 2nd and 3. Straight ahead. Bojack. They give him 2.
Well, the red zone has been the story of this game. Both sides. Ohio State 3 possessions in the red zone. Had to settle for 1 field goal. They did punch it in. But here a massive 3rd down for Ryan Day and these Buckeyes.
3rd down and 1. At the 5. th play of the drive that started at the Ohio State 25. Sayin sprints out, looks, Sayin, incomplete. Great coverage. Pons on Jeremiah Smith, and now it's 4th and 1.
Pons is so good in recognition. Again, he's got a tight split. That means how far he is away from that tight end. And so Pons knows he's going to try to get outside. He plays him very physical, giving up 50 pounds. Aiden Fisher, number 4. D'Angelo Pons saying, no, no. But the Buckeyes will stay on the field. Offense, 4th and 1. Here we go.
4th down and 1 at the 5. Quarterback sneak, and it looks like the Buckeyes have it.
This is a heck of a surge from the right guard. He's really the one that provides the block. Right there, number 58, that's Gabe Van Sickle. He's been rotating in here the second half of the season. And Sayin is able to just stay up above the turf. You can see that and get that yard and move the chains.
1st down and goal from the 3.
Rolling on the field was the runner made the line to gain. The play's under further review.
Now you could see in that replay that we gave that Julian's knee, he's got tape on his knee. And you could see that his knee was down. We're going to take a quick break here. They will review it. Ohio State down by 3.
Huge turn of events here.
There's Julian Sayin's knee. It's down. You can see his helmet right here, which means the ball is somewhere behind this pile of players, and he needed to get all the way to the 4-yard line. You can see he was short, and the ball doesn't get there until the end of the shot. They pieced them together, and Ohio State was turned away on review. 4th down stop for Indiana. Offense back on the field for Curt Cignetti.
1st down and 10 at the 5 now for Indiana. Black from 5 yards deep in his own end zone. And he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Man,
no gain.
Caden McDonald is just, he is so good. For a big man to have the power that he does, he's also got the quickness to evade the block, and then get in the backfield for the stop. Man, he is tremendous. That's why he is rocketed up draft boards. He's almost certainly going to be a 1st-round draft pick, and he was the Big Ten's Defensive Lineman of the Year.
2nd down and 10 at the 5. Surratt in motion. Mendoza underneath. Looks like he's got a first down. Yes, he does. E.J. Williams Jr., who's been battling injury, gains 12. And that should take us to the end of the third quarter. How about this, folks? 1 versus 2. Big Ten championship on the line. Top seed in the college football playoffs. Heisman Trophy. 3-point game. Heading into the fourth. Back to Naptown right after this. To the 2025 Big Ten Championship game, sponsored by Discover. Start of the fourth quarter, folks. We wouldn't want it any other way. 3-point game. IU on top of Ohio State for the Big Ten Championship, for the top seed in the college football playoffs, and maybe for the Heisman Trophy. First down and 10 to the 17. Black. Ohio State ready. No gain.
Gus, you prepare for a game where you think the two best teams in the sport are going to clash, and you just hope it lives up to it. This has been an absolute heavyweight fight. These defenses, plays being made, quarterbacks being battered. This has been absolutely outstanding.
Defense. 2nd and 10. Play action. Mendoza over the middle. Caught. He threw a dime. Charlie B. Charlie Becker, another grab. This time for 16.
I tell you, Ohio State is screaming for a hold here. Watch Kenyatta Jackson, number 97. He's going to have a little bit of pressure over here on the left side, then he's just dragged down. No idea how a flag doesn't come out, but Mendoza does a great job of staying patient outside of the pocket, and Becker just slid to an open area, gave the numbers to his quarterback for a completion.
Becker, 4 catches, 86 yards. First down at the 32. They'll run it left with Black. Kalon Black stopped by Caleb Downs. A 4-yard jaunt.
Tell you what, they just continue to pound away with this run game. They haven't had a ton of success. Only about 3.8 yards per carry, but now over 100 yards. Only the second team to now go over the century mark against this Ohio State team. And you can tell these Buckeye faithful, they are getting nervous right now.
2nd down and 6 at the 36. Mendoza, sideline, caught. Guess who? Charlie Becker. Charlie B having a game, having a day. 7 yards.
One of the things I love about this IU offense is they will just take what the defense gives. Corner is way off. Jermaine Matthews giving a lot of space to Charlie Becker there, who, remember, on the last series hurt him on that deep ball down the field. And Matthews just giving up that completion, and they'll take it. And they're patient enough, efficient enough to do it.
First down and 10 to the 43-yard line now. And they'll hand it to Hemby. Roman Hemby. 3-yard gain. Caden McDonald, the big man, in on the play.
I mean, think of this drive so far. This has already been a successful drive because they've changed the field position. They started inside of their own 5-yard line, now near midfield. So a really successful offensive possession here, but now trying to capitalize and try to get points.
2nd down and 7 at the 47. They stay on the ground with Hemby. Not a lot. And that'll bring up a big-time 3rd down and 5. Big play for Ohio State. Indiana eating up a lot of clock. Indiana went to the college football playoffs last year in Curt Cignetti's first season, but they lost to Ohio State during the regular year on the road. They lost to Notre Dame on the road in the playoffs. They felt that they couldn't prove to themselves that they were the caliber of team of an Ohio State. Here's their second chance. Mendoza rolling, and he gets rid of it. Great defense by the Buckeyes. Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese with pressure.
Well, it's great coverage in the back end, but watch Arvell Reese. He starts all the way over here, and he's the one that's finally going to get the pressure on Mendoza. Watch him close. Lightning fast. This guy is huge and fast, 6'4", 243 pounds, and he closes on Mendoza, who has no choice but to throw that ball away.
And he runs a 4.5. Mitch McCarthy sends it away. Ennis has it at the 7, and he's gobbled up quickly. Well done on special teams, Isaiah Jones. Ohio State will be backed up deep, trailing by 3.
Our Pacific Life game summary is sponsored by Pacific Life. Building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Boy, this Hoosier defense has been absolutely devastating. 5 sacks on Julian Sayin, allowed their offense to get its rhythm. Elijah Surratt here in the second half, 17 yards out. They're able to get in the end zone, and a big 4th down stop for that defense on the quarterback sneak. First 12 games, Ohio State did not trail in the second half. Tonight, they've already spent 12 minutes and 17 seconds behind. These are the first snaps in Julian Sayin's career, trailing in the 4th quarter.
First down and 10 at the 10-yard line. Jackson with a hole. And he'll pick up 5. Let's go downstairs and check in with Tom.
Gus, during that last Buckeye defensive series, the first time all game, Julian Sayin was up off the bench. He was exhorting his offensive linemen, talking to his group of receivers and running backs, trying to make contact with every one of these offensive starters to encourage them. Ryan Day has said all season long, there's a business-like approach. This is the greatest challenge to the Buckeyes' composure at this point. See how they respond.
All right, 2nd and 6 at the 14. Jackson again. Bo Jackson gains 10 on 2nd and 6. First down, Ohio State.
Yeah,
he almost popped that.
I was just going to say, how many times in this second half have we seen Bo Jackson so close to breaking it? And now look at the company he's joined at Ohio State. True freshman running backs with 1,000+ yards in their season. Robert Smith, Maurice Clarett, J.K. Dobbins, all-day J.K., and Travion Henderson. That's quite a list to put your name on.
First down and 10 of the 24. Isaiah Weston now. Sayin. Underneath his tight end, Kazmarek. And they'll give him 4.
I tell you, this Indiana defense, they are so good in the second level and the third level. The linebackers and the secondary, understanding the schemes that you want to run, the formations that you want to run them out of. They tried to just run a little wheel route, Gus, like slide Carnell Tate on the far side of the field. But Bryant Haynes understands these formations, and they were ready for it. And Sayin had to check the ball down to his tight end.
2nd down and 6 at the 28. West, second man through. Stephen Daly, first man to him. Only a 1-yard pickup.
You can't expect too many more possessions. You know, the way this game is going,
this is a huge 3rd down and 5.
A massive 3rd down. And you know you're going to get some sort of simulated pressure, zone pressure from Indiana. The twists up front. This offensive line has got to be great here, because you know this pressure is coming after Julian Sayin.
Jeremiah Smith, number 4, top of your screen. Tate, 17, bottom. He looks Jeremiah's way. Now over the middle, caught. Beautiful decision by Julian Sayin. C.J. Donaldson snuck his way out of the backfield and picked up the first.
They're trying to get a hook here to Jeremiah Smith, but watch the coverage. It's basically triple covered. So Sayin's got to work back left. Tate's triple covered. So he dumps it down to his back, C.J. Donaldson. That's a nice job by that offensive line, giving him time to work through his progression, get to the check down, and Donaldson is able to move the chains.
Clock keeps ticking. Sayin. Smith in space, and Smith bottled up and taken down. Fisher in on the tackle, along with Boykin. They lose 5.
You know, as Smith goes across this formation, watch number 4, Aiden Fisher. He's outside before you can even get the wide receiver outside. His recognition of plays is outstanding. That's why they call him the brain of the defense. Hitting that head right there. Aiden Fisher playing a hell of a game.
Second down and 15 at the 32. Sayin. Over the middle again. Jackson. And Isaiah Jones. First man to him. They give him 7. So that brings up 3rd and 8. Another big 3rd down for both teams.
Oh my goodness, as it ticks under 6.5 minutes. These are massive snaps.
Can Indiana get off the field? Can Ohio State keep the chains moving? Down by 3. Big Ten championship. Sayin, here they come. Ohio State picks it up. Sayin out of the pocket. On the move. Oh, what a catch. Carnell Tate. First down, Buckeyes.
Well, as he leaves the pocket, he's going to come this direction outside of the right. Good protection initially. And a nice job by the right tackle, Phillip Daniels, mashing down that rush on the right side. And then Tate just moves with his quarterback. And he's able to get that left foot down. That is a massive conversion here for Ohio State late in the 4th quarter.
That's a gain of 20. First down and 10 at the 41. For the Buckeyes, 13-10. Sayin with the handoff. Jackson. And he'll plow his way through.
Tell you, Brian Haynes, the defensive coordinator, he is not sitting back. They have been aggressive. That time he came with a corner blitz off of the right side of the offense with D'Angelo Pons. Pons was the one that's able to just hit that foot of Bo Jackson and trip him up for only 2 yards. Brian Haynes has been a masterclass tonight in the way that he has mixed up defense and made this difficult on Ohio State and their quarterback.
Almost a 6-minute drive for the Buckeyes. Second down and 8. Play fake. Sayin in trouble. And he'll get rid of it. Daly with pressure again.
You know, they keep trying to get the ball down the field. And these safeties are playing so deep. But the key to this is that there's not any intermediate zones open because the linebackers are also getting depth. This has been a good job by Indiana, but here on a 3rd down, what we've seen Ohio State be able to do is 1, protect the passer, 2, get to the checkdowns or the scramble. Now they'll go with an empty backfield here. Nope, Bo Jackson back in the backfield.
This is the third and long on this drive. 3rd and 8. Here comes the blitz. They get it away. Oh, Ennis wants to throw it. The other side, Jackson. And he's close to a first down, but a flag. Talk about a rabbit out of the hat.
I think they're going to get, I know this will sound weird, but a low block on the defense. That's what I think they're going to call here.
Foul. Illegal low block, defense number 6. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Mikhail Kamara as he's trying to defend. Once you're out here on the edge, you can't do this to an offensive lineman. Watch, he just goes after the legs immediately. That was the right tackle, Phillip Daniels, and the flags came out immediately. So what looked like a third down stop, 4th and 1, is now an automatic first down. Ohio State clearly in field goal range and inside the red zone.
4:30 and counting. First down and 10 at the Indiana 18. Jackson. Bo Jackson. Determination. He'll get to the 10.
He looked like a little bowling ball on that play, didn't he? Spinning around, and we have seen him. Look at Curt Cignetti. He is screaming for a hold. Both of these coaches have been screaming for a hold. But I'll be honest, they haven't called him on either team here. Ryan Day has been asking for the hold as well. They're letting him play inside. Jackson with a nice physical run.
Second down and 2 at the 10-yard line.
Got single coverage out here to Smith.
Jackson the pistol. They give it to him. And he's close to the first. Maybe a yard short.
And they are going to mark him short there.
But unbelievable how this Ohio State offense has been able to dominate the football. This drive, over 7 minutes. Close to 8. It started at the 10. Julian Sayin orchestrating. Play fake. Sayin rolls, looks, and complete. What a defensive play. This time by Hardy. And he's been a ball hawk.
Well, they're trying to get the running back out here, Bo Jackson. Watch Bo Jackson out of the backfield. And that was a nice job picking him up. That's Caden Turner, number 14, and Hardy up the backside. That was unbelievable coverage. The transfer from Navy goes up and over, blocks that away from Bennett Christian. And Ohio State has to settle for a field goal.
So Fielding comes in to attempt a 27-yarder. Good from 30 yards already today. No good. He missed it. Indiana, 2:48 away from their first outright Big Ten championship since 1945. The Big Ten Championship on Fox is sponsored by Pacific Life, building confident futures for nearly 160 years. Fox College Hoops Friday delivers a huge SEC Big East matchup. Next week as Texas battles Solo Ball and 5th-ranked UConn. It all begins Friday night at 8 Eastern on Fox. What a game tonight, folks, in the Big Ten Championship. 13-10, the score remains. Jaden Fielding misses the field goal. Now the Hoosiers with the ball at their own 20. Ohio State's got to get it back. 2:48 remaining. Ohio State with 3 timeouts. Black slashing. A gain of 5.
Well, in these types of series, timeout.
Timeout, Ohio State. Welcome back to the Big Ten Championship game. 2 minutes and 44 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Indiana leads Ohio State 13-10, facing a 2nd down and 5 at their own 25-yard line. And it's Black. A loss of one. Looks like Mendoza may have thought about pulling that ball out. And to say that this series is lopsided would be an understatement. After all, Indiana has the second most losses in FBS history, while Ohio State has the best winning percentage. The Hoosiers have lost to the Buckeyes 81 times, the most against any team, and Ohio State has won 30 straight. That's the longest win streak versus an opponent in Big Ten history.
You know who doesn't care about that?
Kurt Cignetti.
You know, he said to us, when I came here to IU, I had to change the way people think about this football program, and he has done that in a short time. I tell you, I've never seen a turnaround like this, and this man deserves so much credit. One of the best coaches in America. He's been winning at every level, every single year that he's been a head coach.
Conference Coach of the Year 5 times in 4 different conferences, including back-to-back Coach of the Year awards in the Big Ten. Big play here. 3rd and 6 at the 24. Mendoza. Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee. 32 yards.
This is an incredible throw, but watch Becker's release against Jermaine Matthews. He gets outside, and then he is able to put him right on his back hip, and the ball is out in front. Becker is so good down the field. He has been outstanding this second half of the year. Great against Penn State. Huge catches down the stretch, and Fernando Mendoza, Gus, maybe another Heisman moment.
33 yards. 13 to 10. 2-minute timeout. Indiana can smell the promised land. The Big Ten Championship on Fox is sponsored by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The last time Indiana beat Ohio State was in 1988. Legendary running back Anthony Thompson ran for 190 yards and 4 touchdowns as the Hoosiers routed the Buckeyes 41-7 in Bloomington. Fernando Mendoza. Look at what he's done since the first quarter. 12 of 15, 192.
Yeah, but not just on the stage. Against a historically great defense with 4 first-round draft picks on the field. I mean, Ohio State has been dominant on D all year, and Mendoza has made some of the best throws of the season here in the 4th quarter against Ohio State.
First down and 10 at the 43. They'll stay on the ground as Black slips before he gets to the line of scrimmage. No gain.
Well, depending on when Ohio State wants to call this timeout, you know, you would assume, you know, whether they take it after this play, which it look like they won't, they might take it after 2nd or 3rd down, but you play this out, they could probably get the ball back with maybe 20 seconds, but here's the problem. If IU's able to get off a clean punt, it'd be 20 seconds and probably about 90 yards to go. You know, for a touchdown, trying to get yourself into field goal range, just not a lot of time. They won't have any timeouts.
2nd down and 10 at the 43. Black again. Sonny Styles with the tackle. And a timeout called by the Buckeyes, their final timeout. .110 remaining in the 4th. Indiana up by 3. 3rd down and 7 for the Hoosiers. At the Ohio State 40-yard line. Can Julian Sayin get another shot at it?
You know, Gus, this is one of those opportunities that if you wanted to get a big play fake, a quarterback keeper, a zone read, you know, this is one of those chances that Mendoza could take himself.
3rd down and 7. Surratt in motion. They stay on the ground with Black. And the clock continues to run.
Well, we talked about the red zone was going to be the difference in the game, and it certainly has been here in the fourth quarter. Ohio State in the second half, 2 deep red zone possessions. One, they go for it on fourth, can't get it after review. Then they settle for a field goal on 4th and 1. 4 possessions in the red zone, only 1 touchdown, 1 of 2 on field goals. And of course, Jaden Fielding missed those giant kicks against Michigan last year. They lose that ball game by 3. Sayin in the offense just unable to convert on those red zone possessions. Give a lot of credit to that Indiana defense and Curt Cignetti. And now, after this punt, you're looking at about, I don't know, 18, 19 seconds that Ohio State will have.
With no timeouts.
Try to get down the field. You know, I think about those short yardage situations for Ohio State. And they've struggled with that. They struggled last week against Michigan. They struggled here tonight. You know, not going for it on 4th down and trying to kick the field goal. They failed on the 4th down on the QB sneak. Remember last year, late in the season, Gus, one of the things that they were great at was short yardage conversion. And the reason was because they had a big, athletic, running quarterback in Will Howard. They don't have that this year. It's a drop-back style game with Julian Sayin. You know, that puts a lot of pressure on the offensive line in the run game, and they've been unable to convert those situations. And now find themselves down 3. But really the praise needs to go to the Indiana side. Like, that defense has been unbelievable tonight.
Mitch McCarthy will punt it away from the 47. Ennis is deep. End over end. And Ennis has it at the 13. So, with 18 seconds left and no timeouts, trailing by 3. Ohio State comes back on the field. This Indiana defense today has been excellent. But remember, the Buckeyes still have Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith.
Now, even though Fielding missed that short kick, in warm-ups he had distance from about 59-60. They would need to get the ball to about the 42, 41 yard line. They got a lot of distance to make up.
So they need about 50 yards. Smith in motion. Sayin moves around, dumps it down, and out of bounds goes Donaldson. With 13 seconds to play.
Well, now these DBs for Indiana, you just have got to be deeper than the deepest. No one can get behind you. You know, and if you're Julian Sayin, I think you're going to have to take a chance. Probably down the seam, because it's heavy outside leverage for these defensive backs, trying to keep them away from the sideline, in particular deep down the field.
There you see the prevent. Only 3 pass rushers. Sayin steps up, winds up. And incomplete. 2 seconds to go.
Brandon Ennis was trying to dive for this one late, but you can see clearly hits the ground. And Indiana Hoosiers, they can smell it now.
2 seconds away from their first outright Big Ten championship since 1945. Curt Cignetti, only his 2nd year. Sayin lets it go. And it is caught, but not enough. Curt Cignetti does it in 2 years. The Indiana Hoosiers are champions of the Big Ten. Let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Fernando, congratulations. Indiana, the Big Ten champs. How does that sound?
It sounds so beautiful. I want to give all the glory to God. We were never supposed to be in this position, but by the glory of God, the great coaches, great teammates, everyone we have around us, we were able to pull this off. Whoever thought the Hoosiers would be here, but now the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go.
You guys call yourself a bunch of misfits who found the right home at Indiana. Why was this the right place for this group?
It's the right place for process-oriented. We're going day by day, whether it's the offensive line, the defense, the coaches, special teams. We're all process-oriented to one goal. That's our thing, is we're brothers. We can drag teams into the deep end because we know that we're going to stick together and we're the strongest glue ever.
Tell me about finding Charlie Becker, 3rd down, 2 minutes to go. We talk about Heisman moments, but take me through that one.
Man, what an incredible, Charlie's been, but he's been every single day in summer. We were always throwing before practice, before at 7 a.m. on Sundays, doing spots, doing routes, and now you see it to come to fruition. He's my roommate, couldn't be happy for such a young man as well as our defense playing lights out, and well, everybody just, what an incredible moment.
Congratulations, enjoy it.
Thank you so much, God bless, go Hoosiers.
Let's send it over to Tom Rinaldi.
Jenny, thank you very much. Charlie Becker just handed that hat, proudly putting it on. What did this group of young men know that no one else seemed to?
You know, it all started from the summer workouts when we all came together and we had a brotherhood. You know, we're all really close, and that's what creates a good culture and a good team. Is what the coaches came in here and did. They created a great culture, and you know, we're so blessed to be able to come out here, and all glory to God. You know, without him, none of this would be possible. So all glory to him.
How would you describe the connection you share with and the leadership of your quarterback?
As soon as Fernando got here, me and his brother, we've been roommates since our freshman year when we first got here. So as soon as his brother got here, you know, we were already super close. And every single spring at 5:30, 6 in the morning, we would go to the indoor, work on that connection, and it's amazing to see it pay off.
A message to America about your coach, Coach Signetti.
The Hoosiers are real, and we're here.
You can't say it any better than that. Congratulations. Enjoy with your teammates, Sean.
Thank you so much.
All right, Fernando Mendoza leads his team to the Big Ten championship, the top seed in the college football playoffs. And folks, give him the Heisman Trophy now. We'll be back after this short message with Rob Stone and the guys from right here at Lucas Oil Stadium with complete post-game coverage, including the Big Ten Championship Trophy presentation. This one for the ages.
What a remarkable evening in downtown Indianapolis as the local team, Indiana, gets their first Big Ten title since 1967. They get their first win over the Buckeyes since 1988. Indiana is your Big Ten champions. They get it with a narrow win over the previously unbeaten Buckeyes. Rob, Brady, Mark, Matt, Urban Meyer back here with you. We're going to try our best to put this in perspective, but consider this. Indiana is the second losingest team in FBS football history, and they are unbeaten. And tomorrow, Coach, they will be the #1 seed in the college football playoffs.
What happened? This is the greatest turnaround in the history of our sport, college football. It's not even close.
Yeah.
You know, a year ago, I want to go in reverse a little bit. We were at Indiana versus, I believe it was Nebraska, and I was watching that, and I said, I went outside, and I wanted to stand next to that team and witness what I was listening. That's last year, that's this year. This is the best coaching job I've seen, certainly in my life, I think, in the history of the sport.
Yeah. Remarkable scenes, remarkable accomplishment. Coach Signetti will join us live on set, but first, he needs to get some hardware. We send it to midfield. Joe Platt for the trophy presentation.
Thank you, Rob. Well, Hoosier fans, what do you think now? What an incredible Big Ten championship game. #1 versus #2 lived up to the hype, and now the Indiana Hoosiers are the champions of the Big Ten. want to thank Discover for being tonight's presenting sponsor of the Big Ten Championship game. From Discover, the president, Matt Cooper. Matt, thank you very much. To present tonight's trophy, the commissioner of the Big Ten, Tony Petitti, to the head coach, Curt Cignetti, of the 2025 Big Ten champion Indiana Hoosiers. Coach, congratulations. When you became the head coach at Indiana, you've told us you had to change the way people think about this program. Well, Coach, what do you think now?
I think we were a year late. Hey, I got two things to say. Besides all the thank yous to the president, Pam Whitten, the AD, Scott Dolson, our assistant coaches, our team, our seniors, our fans, all right? We are Big Ten champions. And you talk about changing the way people think. I got 3.5 weeks to get this team humble and hungry for the playoffs.
Speaking of those playoffs, Coach, tonight you beat the #1 team in the country, which means tomorrow, for the first time in this program's history, Indiana will be the #1 team in the country.
Well, it only counts if you finish there.
Coach, congratulations. Good luck in the playoffs. And to present tonight's MVP, the Grange Griffin MVP, one of the trophy's namesakes, Archie Griffin, the only two-time Heisman Trophy winner in our sports history. Here's Archie. Archie, tonight's MVP of the Big Ten Championship game is your quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. Fernando, you've had some incredible moments this year. Big throws at Oregon, Iowa, Penn State, but maybe none bigger than that ball down the right side to Charlie Becker tonight. Take us through it.
It was a phenomenal play. First of all, I want to give all the glory to God. I wouldn't be in this position without the fantastic support of our coaches, teammates, and just the Indiana brotherhood in general. I want to give the mic to Aiden Fisher.
Hold on, real quick. I got one more. Hold on, Aiden. You got to hold on real quick. Because we got something else that's about to happen in the next couple of days, Fernando. You came in as the odds-on favorite to win the Heisman Trophy. You told us that you came to Indiana to be the best Fernando you could be. Well, how good is it?
It's the most unbelievable feeling in the world. I'm so blessed to have such great teammates, coaches, and everybody. I mean, who would ever thought the Indiana Hoosiers are Big Ten champs, go to the college football playoff? Let's go!
Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna let you guys do what you came up here to do. But Aiden, I'm gonna hold the mic and you can cue the whole building. So Rob, I think we're gonna get one little cue here from Aiden. What do you say, Aiden?
Well, my husband wants to do something. He wants to sing that damn song. I said a one, a two, a you know what to do. Indiana.
Rob Stone.
This is a remarkable scene in Indianapolis. Who's your daddy? and time to start saying Heisman Doza. We will hear from the head coach. Indiana, your Big Ten champs, Indiana, off to the college football playoffs again, and the party is just getting going here in downtown Indianapolis.